Hmm. Well, I expected us to go higher here into a more of a high. Not going to get it every time. We went back into lows here. Yeah, I definitely expected more of a move to the upside. But if you're in a long position, uh, not necessarily an awful place to be. I think we probably open lower tomorrow, but I think um, this Princess of Discs is probably a good opportunity to exit a long position. Maybe even first thing in the morning. Hey, Dune. Yeah, not gonna get it right every time, Dune. That's why you trade responsibly. Hmm. Yeah, definitely expected more of a move there to the upside. But it's not 100%. So occasionally something like that will happen, and that's why we have to trade responsibly. In any case, there's probably another opportunity. So the fact that we're here at lows going into the 3 o'clock hour makes me feel like this might have been a trade opportunity right here. We'll see how it plays out. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Okay. Um, I think so. I think there's more decline here. But I would be careful, guys, because it is a tricky day. We've got a high correlation at the end of the day, which means there could be a little bit of a crest here. I don't really see. Well, I'd be careful here. It could go either way. It's really, really tricky right here because this star card hasn't really come to fruition the way you would expect it to. I think we probably go lower here, but I would be very careful. It's not cut and dry clear. I see wild behavior over the coming days, Dune. It's not like increase or decrease. It's kind of like both, back and forth. Like this could be the why I'm saying be careful is because this could be the debak card right here. It could be because the middle part is off so much. I mean, this is Princess of Discs right here for sure. And then the star card, we should have seen a move to the upside. We saw a move to the downside, which is very unusual. But again, there is that unicursal actually. So I think we probably do have a move higher here, based on that, because that's what this was. This was the unicursal right here, and then there should be a move. It's tough, guys. It's a tough day. It really is. But in either case, if you did get into a long position looking to exit for that day trade, I think there's probably an opportunity. I would say if if we move to a high at the end of the day, I would exit out of the long, but I don't think we're gonna do that. It's gonna be there'll be like a crest or resistance level highlighted, but it's like there's not a lot of bullish behavior. The only thing is we could be off on the star card and see a big move into it, but that's unlikely. I think it's just going to be a crest, is my sense. Probably just a crest here. Very unusual to see a high at the end of the day with um, the happiness card. So I think we'll probably continue lower, and then right before the close, there should be like a little bit of a move to a resistance level. Not necessarily like much of a move higher, but there'll be like a little bit of a move into upward into a resistance, and that resistance will be considered the truce card. If I'm dead ass wrong, then there's going to be a big move higher from that star card, but I don't think that's the case. I don't feel like that's the case here. Where can you find the Black Swan video? How do I show you that? So on the search bar here, when you go to the Tarot for Traders YouTube page, not this search bar at the top, that searches all of YouTube. This search bar right here next to where it says membership, if you type in Black Swan right there and press enter, it'll be the top one. It's only 10 seconds. Yeah, it does appear like we're going to go lower here. It might make sense if you did get into a long position here. It might make sense just to take the loss because we could have a really sharp drop there, right? We've got this Prince of Cups. We've got the Death card. And then sometimes when you see a big drop, there's a big Aeon move out of it. If it's not much of a loss, I would say it's probably a best bet to pull out of it and not hold it overnight in that case, and just call it a bad trade on my part. The only thing is that the high has a sideways fluctuating decline that precedes a rally. What a tricky day it is. So today and tomorrow are both kind of like in this kind of like gray, like no man's land as far as like the sequence of events on the 1 month chart, because we didn't find any real like strong correlations to the um, Prince of Cups card. There's a bunch of correlations to the Prince of Cups card here on the first, actually. But I think we probably open lower, and we have like this big move in the morning, like pushing the upper end of a range higher. It's followed by a notable move lower, and then more move to the upside. It's kind of mixed there, but at the end of the day, I think we should have a high and then back to a low, and then go to a high again at the end of the day. The high and the low are within close time proximity to each other on this one. Actually, I think the Aeon card might be a correlation to the Prince of Cups. I think that is. Yeah, it is. Interesting. So is the Four of Swords. It's weird. It's like we skipped right over the star card, and this decline here to bounce along support and then break down through more supports would be the debak card. It's a decline to and through support to meet a second support. You bounce so to and through support to meet a second support. You bounce along that support for a bit, and then you break down through more supports. Debak. So that's probably where we're headed. It's just really crazy to see such a small move to the upside for the star card. It's very unusual. It's going to happen though. I mean, it's not like you can't limit the meaning of the cards to such a stringent kind of like it's only going to mean this every time, because you're like reducing the amount of power that and meaning that is available to you through the cards, if that makes sense. Hey Nadine. Will Theta go up for the beginning of December? I'm trying to shuffle with Hermes on my arm. Yes or no? Overall trend direction of Theta in early December. It doesn't look like it goes up. There's a resistance level that we meet many times before. We either met it many times before or we meet it many times. There's a resistance level that's highlighted. Sometimes there's a lot of decline off of that resistance, but that's kind of like not determinable with just one card pull. Can you please review Amazon for the rest of the week and next week? Yeah, this was that week that I said was really tough to determine because we had some conflicting data in a lot of the 1 months here. Highs and lows kind of conflicting, making it difficult. But we probably have a lower price level tomorrow. Why won't this get larger? Oh. Yeah, so either we have a lower price level tomorrow or we have a peak that we sell off from like in on the 1st of December there. It doesn't look like on the 1st of December there's much of a sell off, but that does indicate an important support. So maybe that we drop tomorrow into a support, rotate sideways on the 1st, and then out of oversold territory, or just like a big move, like a gap up, or like a big move to fill a previous gap down there on the will take place on the 4th. We're gonna have like a lowest low thus far for the month of December here, and also highest highs thus far for the month. So on a lot of the December readings, there's some sort of like happening here around the 11th, 12th, 13th. Some of them it's more like towards the 15th, some of them it's right on the 13th, some of them it's like closer to the 12th, but they all kind of surround the 13th area. Hey, it was like, hey Robert, how does Sui crypto look mid December? It's pretty price swingy. That's what I'm seeing for a lot of the stocks and crypto in December's price swinging, like between here, price swinging between December and January, maybe even into February. Some pretty big price swinging going on in a lot of them. And that's what it looks like for Sui. Um, is it going to have lower lows in 2024 than now? Yes or no? Is as I suspected, that's a no. There won't be lower lows in 2024. . 24. . when will the decline? I presume you mean will a decline take place? Like when will it happen? To 4150? It's kind of like toppy the beginning of December, and then depending on the stock or crypto, it looks like the decline starts anywhere between like mid the second week and the beginning of the third week, depending on the stock or crypto. Are we looking at a computer hack? I think it could be it could be something along like a cyber attack or something along those lines. Is my sense. I might be totally wrong about the Russia part. It happens where I like blend things together sometimes. When they're that far out, they kind of get blurred together sometimes. The impressions. Will the stock market crash into January or bounce from mid December to January? It's going to go back and forth. We're probably going to see highs and lows for the year, one to two times between January and February, and we'll be declining into the end of December. I don't know what this is about. Why is it doing this? Somehow I saved over it. Weird. It's like bugged. I think we probably have a lower low than we do in December and early January. That's my sense. Is there's a lower low in early January than in December. It's like the decline continues into January, but it ends pretty early on. And then there's this cross-reading congruency with the Aeon card right there. Pretty significant moment. But I gone through all of this, guys. I've gone through all this. Like, just check out the S&P 500 2024 reading. Do I still feel MGM is a good long-term hold? Yes, I absolutely do. There we go. See, so this is what I was saying. So like it appeared that we didn't get much of a star card, and it looks like that ended up being accurate, right? This was a little bit of a star card, but it's kind of like a blur because this right here is the debak, and the debak is a decline to and through support to meet a second support. You bounce around that support for a bit, and then you break down through multiple supports. Hopefully, people listened to me when I told them to just take a small loss on that long position because this could actually go pretty far down, especially because we got that unicursal. I was expecting this unicursal to be more of like a whipsaw action, but because we didn't see that star, that probably indicates a pretty sharp drop here into the morning. I still think we'll see a little bit of a move back up, just a little, probably just a little bit to a resistance level. You're welcome, Proof. Appreciate you, my man. Oh, and we've got a bunch of angel investors. You reminded me, Proof. We've got a bunch of angel investors here on the live. Just want to let you guys know we do have the Discord. We've got a voice channel, and we've got a chat channel, private Discord. That we're going to be sending out a invite to all of the repeated angel investors. In other words, people that follow the rule of karma repeatedly, regularly, will be sent a invite to this, and only those people. It'll be kind of like a angel investors inner circle. And if you're interested in being one of those people and you don't know what I'm talking about as far as Rule of Karma is the whole purpose of the channel. We want to make sure that everybody that's profiting from this information is following the Rule of Karma. They should be going to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, clicking on resources, and then here, donating 5% of the profits of all profitable trades using this information, donated forward here, and 5% of the profits donated back to the channel here as a way of saying thank you and to help support the channel. It leaves you with 90% of the money. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you followed the rule of karma for the channel, and the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold for being an angel investor. Not to mention, you'll also get a private invite to that Discord channel. Oh, you're welcome, Nadine. Not to worry. I make spelling errors like every other hour. You're welcome, Robert. Appreciate you. And guys, if you ever find me kind of like saying something different than what the original interpretation video said, chances are the original I've doubted myself, and the original interpretation is going to be what you want to go with in almost all cases. Just so you know when that does happen, because I'm sure it happens occasionally. I doubt myself like everybody else occasionally. You got to understand, I didn't grow up believing this stuff was possible. I grew up thinking that like this this wasn't possible. This type of thing wasn't possible. It took me a long, long time to train myself to, at the same time, come to believe it was possible. And as you come to believe it's possible, it becomes possible. I don't know how else to explain it. But that's the one thing when you're learning. It's one of the things that's kind of like a basic kind of principle when you're learning to develop psychic abilities, is that the first thought that enters your mind is going to be the right one every single time. It's just sometimes we're not in a peaceful enough mentality. Often we're not in a peaceful enough mentality to clearly catch what that first thought was. Because believe it or not, we have so many thoughts we don't remember probably 90% of them that we make throughout the day. Can I give guidance on Riot week by week for December? Sure thing. You know how they say when you're growing up and in school, they say, always go with your first answer. If you can't make up your mind, always go with your first answer. There's a reason for that, my friends, because we're all psychic. We just, you have to have a belief system that allows for you to effectively see that we are. You can't see what you don't believe in. All right, so Riot throughout December, overall trend behavior. Is Riot gaming? I feel like Riot is gaming. Unless I'm gonna get confused with something. So it looks like we do sideways rotation the first week of December. Sideways rotation. And then there's volatility in the second week, an important support level that's highlighted, and a lot of price change, probably taking us into like a peak or crest. The third week, there's an important opportunity on a multi-day scale that'll stand out. And it looks like a crest that we sell off from through multiple supports. And then it looks like the following week, we have a similar kind of behavior where there's a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. That's Riot for December. Man, he is out. I mean, done. I'm like shuffling right next to his head. He hasn't moved even like in the littlest bit. That was really weird. A thumbs up kind of appeared on my screen in front of my camera. That was weird. I don't know what that was. Right, so there's that the Bach. Okay, and it might be that tomorrow this Princess of Disc could be the same price level. It's possible. I'm gonna mark this off because it could end up being the same price level. It might be helpful for us. In discs, I do in brown. Oh, right, right. It is the BTC mining. Right, right, right. I was like, what am I getting this confused with? Bone token. I wonder, did I put that on the list even? I think it's on the list. Yep, it's on the list. I actually have a 10-year that I started. I should probably finish that one. I've just been recording and recording and recording and recording since October, really, and only really like editing and dropping what needs to be edited and dropped. And I just kept recording, so I got like all this stuff that's coming out over the last month of the year. Ton of 1 years, a ton of 2024 1 years coming out. That's for sure. XRP. Uh, I was editing it and I decided to re-record it because originally, Robert, I recorded for the public version. I recorded only the first quarter, and I talk about the highs and the lows that take place in the first quarter and any trade opportunities. But then the rest of the reading is all private, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I'm probably going to re-record it tonight. I'd rather give them all of the chart behavior and none of the highest highs or lowest lows. The highest highs and lowest lows should be in the paid version moving forward. Um, all right, guys, I'm gonna roll early. It gets dark here in New York City early, and I want to get some light time at the dog park with Hermes. 100% it was luck. I'm actually going to do a crypto picker reading for 2024 suggested by Robert, I believe. I believe it was Robert. So I would look out for that. But Citus, Tau, AKT, AKT, Pepe. What is that last one? Bonk? All right, so Citus, Tau, AKT, Pepe, and Bonk. It looks like AKT out of that group is the one to go with. I think we're probably done with highs here, though, guys, for the month. I think that was probably it. That was the abundance taking place right there at the beginning of the day. And now we're into this decline, which should continue into the morning. And then tomorrow is kind of like mixed. Sometimes this is an indication when you see the Aeon card at the beginning of a day or a big move higher at the beginning of the day. It can be an indication of a big drop overnight, because often what you'll see when you have a big drop overnight is a big retracement immediately at the open. Oh, and look at that. We're already here as far as the sequence of events. Queen of Wands. Just noticed that. So for tomorrow, if you got into a short position yesterday and you're kind of sweating about it, I wouldn't be sweating about it tomorrow morning. It'll probably be happy camper. But that's not where the trade opportunity is per se. I would say if you got a good profit here first thing in the morning on a short position, I would probably close that short and just look for another opportunity to open up a short. If you got into a long and you didn't get out as advised, um, really it's kind of risky. You might have an opportunity here midday or at the end of the day, probably, but it really depends on how far down we go. We might not go down that far, in which case these could be highs that are a good opportunity, or we could go down like a whole bunch, in which case these highs will be insignificant. Um, and then as far as this, I think as far as advising this trade, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow morning to see what happens, and then I'll come up with a game plan, possibly adjusted for whatever happens tomorrow in the morning. So look out for me in the morning tomorrow, or look out for the morning session. Blessings, my friends. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma.